Welcome back, everyone, to Context for Chaos. This is part 4 of Julia and Tim's 2023 interview. Enjoy. And it was after a long time of burying everything. And again, you don't really bury it, but like, you think well, I'm not doing it sober. So am I really doing it? But when I started dating somebody that was super into Marvel, super into like, all this stuff, and he saw me perform a reading for his god sister, and she was so impressed that he then was very impressed, and he was like, listen, I think this is something that you should tap back into if you want to. I don't want you to feel like you can only do it kind of in secrecy or whatever. And I was like, what? Like, what do you? Wow. What does that mean? What? And so it just didn't even occur to, because I never had anybody growing up doing any of it. Not even. I mean, my mom teaches religion, but she taught me more historically than any kind of spirituality. So I didn't even know anybody would accept me in that way, seeing that wasn't something I wanted to share with you. It is mine. It is. I don't necessarily want to share this life with my significant other. So I just didn't think I would have somebody that let me go there without them being there. So I brought my deck out. I think I had gotten a Rider Waite, but I started with an Aquarian deck back when I was 12. And judgment kept coming up. And I'm like, you want to say, okay, this is your calling. This is the way. I didn't know tarot the way that I did now or do now, but I was like, oh my God, this is resurrection. This is something I've been denying. I have been denying this thing in me. And now it keeps coming up because I think sometimes we're also looking for so much meaning that it's like, tell me I'm going the right way. Tell me I'm whatever. And really, it just reflects you. So if you feel like it's something coming up and that you've been denying it, judgment will come up, So it was just this like epiphany of like, oh, this isn't something I just want to, like an arm I want to cut off, or like this is because I can't relate to people. I can't feel comfortable with people or normal with people. This is something I've just been denying that's actually a calling in me or something that makes me feel alive, in a way that I didn't when I don't have that connection. So that was just such a revelation about that card and about what resurrection can mean spiritually. Not just not just like religiously, let's say, or like, in a concentrated way, or like this is the steps, it's just like, oh, I was just denying something. Right. Oh, right. So that was a rewarding experience with that card. And I still have trouble with that card sometimes, just because, a lot of people come to me with a lot of practical questions. Sure. Yeah. So a lot of times that card comes up as you're looking for a sign or you're going to see a sign, like there's something that's going to open up to you. But on a larger level like that, it was like, that was such a big moment. So I appreciate this little tete-a-tete about these big moments with these majors where you're just like, stop knowing me. Like, stop it.
Yeah. It's annoying. It can be annoying.
Yeah. I'm just like, can't I just get the 9 of Cups? Can't I just get the Queen of Pentacles? Can't I just get the Empress? I never get the freaking Empress. I'm like, it started coming up recently. I know.
Theory.
That face was exactly just.
I have a theory. Maybe, and we probably talked about this before, Tim, but because we think about what cards don't we get? Because we think you can learn as much about much about the cards that are there as the cards that aren't there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are the cards that don't normally show up for me, just in general, or what are the cards that are missing from the reading that I'm doing? If I'm doing a bigger spread, which, like we said, we don't normally do, but for those who do. Did you not get any cups? Did you not get, like, what might that say? But so one theory could be is that maybe you just don't need that. Maybe you have that. Maybe that's already working for you. Maybe that you don't need, it doesn't need your attention in that way, right?
You're not focused. That's not where your focus is.
That's not where your focus is.
Yeah. And it's if you're asking about love and there's no cups, then there's a problem,
Right. So this is exactly what I'm saying. Yeah. Well, not necessarily, but like to look for what's not there. What's not there can be just as telling. Yeah.
Yeah. When somebody calls me for a love reading and I see no cups, I'm like,
why is there?
There's a little bit of a problem, because if you are looking for emotion and I'm not seeing emotion, then they're either focused on something that's not you, or focused on something about the relationship that's not what you want them to focus on, or, so, but if it's a general thing, exactly, like if you're just generally asking and you don't see cups, you're just not focused on your imagination. You're not focused on your emotions. If you don't see any pentacles and you only see wands, you're in active mode. You're
That's
like
right.
going at something. If it's a hodgepodge, you're probably like what we all are, multidimensional, and have 80 things going on in our lives. Like, so it's like I got swords on my mind, I got pentacles in my heart, I got, like, yes. Absolutely. And like, I just think that's, that's another thing that, new readers need to remember is it's kind of like water, it is a reflection. It's not telling you you're doing something bad or something good.
No.
It's just telling you what the energies are. And depending on the question, it may feel bad for you right now. It may not be what you want to feel, but it's not saying that you're a bad person or that you're not, capable of getting what you want, or that you have to force something that you want to happen.
Yeah.
It's just not, you don't need to do that. It's just get used to just sitting there with them, because that's literally all you're doing. Like that's all you're doing. No unicorns coming out of the window saying, thank God you started. Unfortunately is exactly right. At least you guys get rainbows.
Still wait. Yeah.
Exactly. So then so we brought up spreads. So I want to like bring out spreads again. So you just talked about, or we all just talked about what's missing. But what about when you're looking at a spread and you're looking for something? So let's say you put out past, present, future, right? Some people would say read from past to present to future. What would you do? Do you like to read from the positions? Do you like to let them jump out at you and tell you which position is like the one that's the most resonating at the moment? How do you like to navigate your way through a spread?
I think
all context.
A lot of the times,
I wish I could give you a solid answer on anything. I feel like I
do
barely
not
can.
have to. It's nothing solid. Like,
depends on the circumstance.
Like literally. But it really depends. I mean, typically, I would maybe do like the past, present, and the future. But there are times again where maybe the cards have shown up, but some cards for whatever reason feel intuitively more important than other cards. Exactly. So I want to go to them first, or I'm going to spend more time there. So it really all depends. It all depends on the question and how I'm feeling when I look at those cards, because I might plan to go a certain way, but then I pull the cards and I go, oh no, that's not the way I'm going to go with this. I'm going to go a totally different way, and it's not what I thought. So I think just leaving yourself, if you're new to reading, or even if you're not, like just leaving yourself open to the flexibility, not being too set on it going, like have a plan, have an idea, but then be flexible in the moment to pivot here, there, wherever, go with how you're feeling, because that's how you can allow your intuition to play just as strong a role as the other parts of you, the more logical parts of you.
It's like letting the reading dictate the terms.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's a much simpler way to put it. Yeah.
I love that. And you know what's funny about that is that I consider that to be when you're more proficient at it, but it feels like what you wanted it to be when you were a novice at it. It's like that's what you wanted. You wanted it to be this intuitive thing, but you wouldn't let yourself do it until you got to like a proficient place, right?
Talk a big game, but only doing a couple cards now. But I used to religiously every single day do like a 15 card reading for like
oh my God,
2 years
I kind of
straight.
do like a 5 card reading,
which is why I do the simple ones now.
Well, like it's also, I mean, I don't know if you both do this, but I'll do a 5-card spread just because I want to see where it shows up in my day. I'm like, where did that show up? How did it show up? Because I've done this for so long, and it's not as the transformations that have happened to me that have happened to you as well, or the star temperance kind of experiences have made it a little easier for me to handle when a tower experience happens or a death experience happens. So when I'm looking at the cards, it's hard. I can't take it so seriously anymore. It's just like, unless you are coming to me with a serious question, it's like, oh, did Queen of Cups reversed? Interesting. Where'd that show up? Who was that? Was that me? Like, who was that?
Yeah.
Or I think yesterday I had, was it Temperance Reversed was the very first thing. And literally my boyfriend was driving me to the studio, and all he could talk about, and whenever I see a major, it's sometimes not me, it's just around me, I'm like waiting for somebody to talk about it.
Yep.
And he was just like, I just literally can't catch a break. I'm always doing something. I can't rest. I can't stop. I can't. And it's true. That's the reverse. It's like it's either the faucet's too on or the faucet's totally off. And for him, it's just, he has too much on his plate. He can't keep himself healthy. He can't keep himself in a balanced energy, And I got into the studio and I just pulled my 5 cards just to, like, what's happening. That was the morning, let's say, or the past or the morning. And I was like, that's exactly what happened. So it gives me that deeper experience with it, because I'm not going by necessarily the position. It's more just like, if that's the position in the morning, then that's, what happened in the day. But if I was to do a 5-card spread for general, I'd go maybe to the major first, or I'd go to the court card. Who are you? And let the position be the vibration that card is sitting on. It's like, I just decided that if this is what's on my mind, the universe is going to put the card that's supposed to be on my mind. It's not saying I'm supposed to go to my mind second because it's the second position. It's just like, go wherever you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's very jazz musician, like very like free jazz.
It's like, then the King of Cups will come in to play a solo.
Exactly. So let's talk about court cards, because that's the hardest one for, I think, everybody. I think it's just hard for people to like land on how they feel about them. So let's just lean into it spiritually, though, because I think that's where, if you're a solo reader, you're reading just for yourself, that's probably what you're sticking to, besides maybe love and money. But like, you might want to, especially if you're going with shadow work. How do you see the court cards with spirituality? Like, do you see them as masters of things? Do you see them as personas, essence? How would you describe that portion of the suits?
I would see them as energies or attributes, ways of being in the world, whether they're related to me or someone around me. Kind of just like characteristics almost, at different stages, not necessarily in life, but just like in different stages of experience. So like, just because you get a page, right, doesn't mean that you're just starting out in life, but maybe there's a new endeavor for you that's kind of like new for you, or that's making you feel like a beginner again, or that requires a beginner's mind for you. So kind of seeing them along those lines. I do agree, though they can be the trickier batch of cards to work with. And it's funny because they're the people, right? They're people with pretty distinct characteristics, but yet I feel like a pretty common experience is that we have a hard time connecting with them, which is kind of strange to me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And Tim, do you have the same perspective or anything more to add?
Strangely enough, I've almost never seen them they've never appeared as like actual people for me, ever.
Love it. Yeah.
But oftentimes they're like, again, levels of proficiency within things. Like, when going back to the Golden Dawn, like, they can be a great marker when you're going through the elemental initiations and your progression to integration with that element. And I used to use that as a gauge often. But also, a lot of the times they'll be like, I'll see them as personality aspects or things that I need to tap into within myself. Like, oh, well, this problem requires this sort of a solution. Or even like, I like the pages again, like a lot of the time, like especially the Page of Cups, like I'll see as calling for a bit of beginner's mind.
I think, yeah.
And to come to like from an open place and just like meet the situation as it is.
And letting the psychic awareness flow.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, that's, I think both of what you said, I think is absolutely valid, because they are people and you're a person. So the persona that you take on is, let's say you see the King of Pentacles, and if you want to lean into it spiritually, it's like, I need to master the what I value and how I take care of what I value and what I give to what I value. But if it's a human being, I have seen it come up as a man. A lot of times it will come up as a gender person. Sometimes it doesn't matter, but like, I've definitely seen it come up as its gender, but also as somebody who's controlling a lot of money.
Right.
You know, so it's so interesting, depending on the context, like you guys said.
Yeah.
It's so interesting,
Totally.
right? So I think what helped me was, and I don't know if I got this from the Tarot of the Bohemians, because, you know, they had, Papoose broke it all down, right? And so I did all the math for it, because there was like 2 years I couldn't trust tarot, because I was like, why are you telling me these are the definitions? Why? Like, I couldn't get to the bottom of that until I was reading Benebell Wen's Holistic Tarot, and in the introduction, she talked about the Tarot of the Bohemians, and I was like, what is this? And I went and read it, and I was like, there's numerological math involved, and like like yod hey vow hey, yod hey vow hey, and I just like did all of it, right? And I have this aspiration to do a you know, those dry erase videos, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it. Yeah. I'm gonna hire someone to do a dry erase video so people can understand like how this works. Because what it did for me was it made a pattern that made sense, and I could go fact check it. And I was like, okay, so 3 6s and 9s are supposed to be with other people, vow, and they're all freaking with other people. And I'm like, what? It's like, and so I finally could like let go, because that's the critical mind. I had to like, in order to really let go into, you know, believing that a material thing is talking to me, because I'm a psychic, like things that I don't see talk to me, you know, like but believing a material thing talks to me, I need to, you know, feel a little bit safer with. And with the court cards, breaking it down, like you said, pages being a new experience, but also like messages, but it's being a kid again, or feeling like you're in a new space where you get to learn something new or try something new. And then the knights are communicators, because they go with vow, so they have to talk. And so when they come up, I know I'm either talking to somebody. If there's 2 of them, a lot of times I'll see people in fights. You know, queens are the nature of you, and that was that, hey, you know, like going into the nature of you, and kings are the masters of themselves. Like you said, like they can be personas, they can be people. And that's the thing. It's like, it is about the context. We have to get it out of our heads. I mean, we've I think broken a lot of it, you know, but newer readers need to get it out of their head that there's one way of expressing that. Our languages all over the world have one word for a million things.
That's right.
You know, so this is a language.
That's right.
Right? And you got to find your own rhythm to it. Thank you for joining us. And until next time, as above, so below. Blessed be.